So, good afternoon to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. In this video lecture, I am going to explain you about the last type, that is the last classification of the comparators, that is electrical and electronic comparators. So, in the previous video lecture, we have discussed about the pneumatic comparators in a brief way. And in this video lecture also I am going to explain these electrical and electronic comparators. So first of all, what are these electrical comparators? So unlike these mechanical comparators, electrical comparators are not having moving parts like the levers, gears, racks and pinions, and activate mechanical devices. So these are going to reduce all these ones. So they are not going to have these all the things in that. So coming to the difference between variation between the mechanical and electrical comparators, these electrical comparators does not have any moving parts. So whenever we are using the mechanical comparators, there are a lot of mechanical moving parts. That is the moving parts like the gears and the different types of levers, rack and pinions type, and other type of elements. So these are all present in the mechanical comparators, but in the electrical comparators, nothing is provided. So nothing is there in the electrical comparators. Next one, the accuracy and life of the instruments are affected as they are subjected to wear and friction. So generally, the accuracy and the life of the instruments depends upon the usage. So what is the purpose and usage of their instruments? They are going to be used. So that depends on the amount of subjected to wear and friction of the instrument. So wearness comes from the usage and friction comes from the touching of base parts, that is the mechanical component parts. Next, because of no moving parts present in the electrical comparators, these comparators are expected to give a high degree of reliability. So these are going to achieve some high degree of reliability structures from these instruments. So that is higher accuracy will be provided by these type of comparators. Generally, there are two important applications of these electrical comparators. So generally, they are going to use in the two ways. First one, they are used as a measuring heads. So generally we are using the electrical comparators for the usage of measure heads only. And second one is the used for electrical gauging heads to provide visual indication to check the dimensions within the limits laid down. So what are the limits to be laid for this type of comparators? So what are the profiles to be checked and what are the devices to be operated? So these are the limits which is to be laid down for these electrical comparators. Next one, these electrical comparators is the measuring moment, that is in this comparator the measuring contact moment is changed into a electric signal. So this is converted to a electric signal in which it is converted to the signal to be provided. Then this signal is recorded by a device that can be adjusted in terms of plunger movement. So a plunger is taken to measure the signals and the signal is recorded by a device. So based upon the plunger movement, these signals is going to be produced and recorded in a stationary one. For these, an AC Wheatstone bridge circuit including a galvanometer is used. So generally a galvanometer is used to record the signals. So here they are using the AC Wheatstone bridge. So AC means alternating current Wheatstone bridge they are using, and which includes a galvanometer. So they are including a galvanometer also. This electrical comparator comprises of a tough stylus and an iron armature. So this also containing a tough stylus in which it consists of an iron armature. So this iron armature is used to fix it in between the two blocks. two blocks of the elements, and these iron armature gets a deviation from its vibration of the plunger. So whenever the plunger gets the deflection in its the reading in the measuring device, so next one, it breaks against the W's position and spring at the W1 position. So generally, the Wheatstone which consists of 4 points, that is the 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. So it breaks against the W position and a spring which is attached to the armature, and the W1 is fixed to the plunger. And if the armature is located between the coils W and W1, the inductance of these coils is equal. So generally the inductance of these coils is equal, which is located as W and W1, and the Wheatstone which is stable and forms the datum line. So then these are going to stable the Wheatstone which points, which is a stable in form, and a datum line is fixed to it. Then when the workpiece is located under the stylus for the measurement purpose, due to the difference in the datum line. So due to the difference in the datum line, the workpiece is located and measured by the stylus of the point due to the difference in datum position. So whenever the deflections occur in this workpiece, it is recorded and touched in contact by the stylus or the plunger for the measurement purpose. The armature and the component size would either be raised up or down in. Then the armature and the size of the components would either be raised up or down in position. and it defeats the Wheatstone bridge balance that results the unbalanced current flow. So due to the differences according the Wheatstone bridge, so the results may be unbalanced in type, and the current flow also is in the unbalanced structure. So this defends the Wheatstone bridge balance. That results the unbalanced current flow. And this current is directly adjusted into the difference in size of the component, which is expanded by an amplifier specified by the galvanometer. So this is specified by the galvanometer reading also. And this current is directly adjusted into the difference in size of the component, which is expanded by an amplifier specified by the galvanometer. So the mechanical adjustments is directly converted into the signal by use of this galvanometer only. So the galvanometer is used to transfer the readings to the signals. And the main advantages of these comparators are no moving parts, in which it differs from the mechanical comparators. So mechanical comparators consists of moving parts, but these electrical comparators does not consist of moving parts, and it is sensitive in direction and accuracy over longer periods. That is, by measuring of longer times also, it has very good accuracy. Next one is the classification of comparators. So these electrical comparators convert the linear moment of the plunger into electrical signals, and these signals rely on the Wheatstone bridge. So generally the Wheatstone bridge movements is relied on this. So generally electrical comparators convert the linear movement of the plunger into the electrical signals, and these signals will convert the original transformation of the movements, that is the deflections, which is rely on Wheatstone bridge circuit for measurements. So these rely on Wheatstone bridge circuit have two types of measuring devices. First one is the LVDT and second one is the electrical comparator. So LVDT means linear variable differential transducer, which is an important component in electrical comparators. And next one is the general type of electrical measurement, that is the electrical comparator. And in the electrical comparators, the moment of the measuring contact is used to convert into the electrical signal. So we all know that the movement of the measuring devices is converted to an electrical signal, and this electrical signal is recorded by an instrument which can be calibrated in terms of plunger movements. So by the movement of the plunger, they are going to take the plunger movements. So for these, and we AC Wheatstone bridge circuit incorporating a galvanometer is used. So a galvanometer is used to take this, and it can be rather be said that the electoral comparators work on the principle of Wheatstone bridge. So these are all comes under the Wheatstone bridge purpose only. So principle of Wheatstone bridge is also applied to this electrical comparator. And electrical comparators have no moving parts. Thus, a high degree of reliability is expected from these instruments. So for these, a Wheatstone bridge is applied by using galvanometer. So these electrical comparators generally work on the principle of Wheatstone bridge only. and due to the less number of moving parts, there is a high degree of reliability in it. So electrical comparators have high degree of reliability. So let's see the working principle of these electrical comparators. It requires elaborate auxiliary equipment such as accurate pressure regulator and the scale is generally not uniform and when indicating a device in the glass tube. So when you are going to indicate the device in the glass tube, then high magnification is necessary in avoid to the diminishes errors. So that is less number of errors is to be avoided for the above magnification purpose. So due to the high magnification of the less number of components, they are going to avoid the errors. Then the apparatus is not easily portable and is rather elaborate for many industrial applications. So for the users of many industrial applications also, it is not at all portable. So it has heavy devices. So the device is not at all portable. And different gauging heads are required for different dimensions. So for measuring the different types of dimensions and different dimension heads, we are going to use different gauging heads also. And it breaks against the W spring and W. So in the western bridge, this indicates the positions of the western bridge, which it indicates the W and W1 spring. If the armature is located in the W and W1 position, then the inductance of these coils is equal. So the inductance is going to be same at the point of time. Next, whenever piece is located under the stylus, so the stylus is the measuring device, and when you are going to measure the device with this stylus for the measurement purpose, due to the difference in the datum position. So there is a difference between the datum position. The armature component size would either be raised up and down. So the armature is used to move in the upward and downward direction, and it defeats the Western reach that results the unbalanced current flow. So it results in the unbalanced current flow of the equation. This current is directly adjusted to the size of the component, which is explained by an amplifier. So this is explained by an amplifier specified by the galvanometer. So the galvanometer is the measuring device here, which is used to measure the current in different sizes of adjustment. Next, this current is directly adjusted into difference in size of the component, which is explained by an amplifier specified by the galvanometer. So this is directly specified by this galvanometer. The main advantages of these comparators are no moving parts, sensitive, and accuracy for longer periods. So for a period of longer periods, this can be easily measure the readings. So that is the only advantage of this type of comparators. So this is the LVDT position of the electrical comparator. So this is also called as the electrical transducer. So this electromechanical transducer convert the rectilinear motion of an object to into a electrical signal. So these can be converted to the electrical signal. So this is the LVDT cross section. So this is the secondary winding. So this is the primary winding. So red color one is the secondary winding structure, and in the center of it, it has a movable core which is attached to the displacement of it. So when we are going to use the displacement, it is going to be attached in the center of the position of the LVT to move in the forward and upward movement, and it has the lead wires on the other position. So this LVDT is mainly used for the convert the rectilinear motion of object into an electrical signal. So generally these are going to uh, convert all those motions to the signals. So in the electronics we are going to take the signals only. That's why this LVDT is used in its fraction. Next, the main components of an LVDT are the transformer and a core. So the transformer consists of three coils, a primary and two secondary coils wounded, that is winded on a hollow cylindrical tube. So these are winded on a hollow cylindrical tube in which three coils has been taken to the hollow cylindrical tube, in which it gets a one primary coil and the two secondary coils. So it has one primary coils and two secondary coils in it. And the primary coil is located between the two secondary coils. So this is the primary coil which is located in between the two secondary coils. So it is indicated in the blue color for the recognition only, and these secondary windings can be seen in the maroon color. And the ferromagnetic force moves freely inside the cylindrical tube. So the ferromagnetic force which is fixed on the two ends is used to move freely inside the cylindrical tube, and non-ferromagnetic shaft, that is the push rod which is on the center of the core, is coupled to the core and connects to the object being measured. So this is directly attached to the object which is going to be measured. And the plunger is the sensing element in which the movement of it will be displaces an armature inside a pair of coils. So this is to be displaced in the pair of armature coils. So this is the schematic diagram of the electrical comparator. So we can see the diagram clearly. So this is the plunger. So this is the plunger which we are going to measure. So this point is fixed to the working head. So this is the workpiece to be measured, and this plunger is directly fixed on the surface which is to be tested. And whenever this plunger is moved in the upward and downward direction, so you can see the rates here, and to the right side of it, it has a thin steel strips which is attached to a armature point, and this to the two sides of the armature point, it has two blocks, that is the blocks which is used for the measurement purpose. So this is the armature, like a thin steel strip. Whenever there is deflection in the plunger, these are going to move in the upward direction and touches the armature one. And by the touch of the plunger, by the movement of the plunger in the upward motion, the armature is used to vibrate. So this is going to be vibrated in its point, and through these vibrations, it is moving the top and up and down direction. So this is going to move the blocks also, that is A block and B block, and that readings can be recorded through a galvanometer. So this is the galvanometer. So this is the galvanometer attached at this point of sections. So here we used to put this galvanometer like this. So the connection is given, and the readings are taken in this galvanometer. So that is the development of the electrical comparator. So it has a simple units. For the measurement of these devices, it gets very low units. So the plunger is the sensing element here. The movement of the plunger is going to displace the armature inside a pair of coils. So these are the two pair of coils which is named as A and B, and these are going to be displaced by the armature element, and movement of the armature causes change in inductance in these two coils. So these movement in the armature of the coils has change in the inductance in two coils, resulting in a net change in the inductance. These changes cause an imbalance in the bridge circuit, which is resulting in output unit. And the output display unit, that is the analog or digital unit, is calibrated to show the readings in the units of length. So this is shown in the units of length, that is the linear displacement is shown here. So these are the different points of sections for the electrical comparator. So first of all, this plunger is used to move in the upward direction. సో ఇప్పుడైతే ప్లంజర్ లో మనకి డిఫ్లెక్షన్స్ వస్తాయేమో ఆ ప్లంజర్ అనేది పైకి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. సో పైకి మూవ్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ పార్ట్ అనేది మనకి ఈ థిన్ స్టీల్ స్ట్రిప్స్ తగిలి ఈ ఆర్మేచర్ మొత్తం కూడా డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది. డిస్ప్లేస్ అంటే ఒరిజినల్ పొజిషన్ నుంచి చేంజ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో మనకి ఒరిజినల్ పొజిషన్ నుంచి చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఒరిజినల్ పొజిషన్ నుంచి చేంజ్ అయిపోయి మనకి సో ఆర్మేచర్ బ్లాక్స్ మొత్తం కూడా ఏమవుతాయి అంటే ఈ 2 బ్లాక్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఏ అండ్ బి బ్లాక్, దట్ ఈస్ ది ఇండక్షన్ కాయిల్స్ అంటున్నాం వాటిని. సో ఆ ఇండక్షన్ కాయిల్స్ కి టచ్ అవుతాయి అన్నమాట. సో ఇండక్షన్ కాయిల్స్ టచ్ అవడం తోటే మనకి వైబ్రేషన్స్ అనేది స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఆ వైబ్రేషన్స్ మొత్తం కూడా గ్యాల్వనోమీటర్ లో మనం రికార్డ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. So that is used to be recorded in the galvanometer. So by this I am ending this class. Thank you. So later will be explained in the next lecture.